as C8 Corvette owners, we understand how hard it is to clean the engine of our C8. Now, if you have the right tools and the right products to do that, it makes it very easy and the result you get is amazing. So in this video, I'm gonna walk you through the process of how to clean the engine bay of this C8 E-Ray Corvette. A question we get a lot is, why should I even clean my engine bay? If you take care of your car a certain way, other people are going to take care of it as well. So if you take your car into the service department to have the oil change or whatever needs to be done, and they see you have an immaculate engine, they're going to take that extra care for your car because you treat it a certain way. So really, when it comes to cleaning your engine, it's just more of a pride thing. And just when we think of car care at Adams Polishes, we think of everything, not just your paint and your glass. We think of the wheels, we think of the barrels of the wheels, we think of cleaning the engine. We think of every aspect of the car to make it look perfect because it reflects how we think about our car and how we treat our car. So with engine cleaning, when it comes to the whole process of detailing, tend to clean the engine right after you're done cleaning each wheel and tire individually. So we haven't even got into fully washing the car yet, because as soon as we start addressing hard water to the surface of the car, we run the risk of getting water spots. So when it comes to cleaning your wheels and tires, we're avoiding from getting water onto the paint. And then you get into the engine because we're trying to avoid getting water on the paint as well. So if you think about it, you start with the wheels and tires first, then you do the engine bay, and then you get into washing the car. So right now we're in the engine bay cleaning portion of kind of a full washing of the car. And the nice thing about cleaning the engine is you use the same tools that you use to clean the wheels. So you don't have to put stuff away and get new things out. You move on from the wheels, and now we're at this point. So the product that I love to use on the engine bay is the tire and rubber cleaner. Okay, this is obviously it's intended to clean your tires, to take the browning off of the tires. But the cool thing about this product is it really works good on the dark plastic and rubber, especially like the hoses or the engine cover, things like that. Tire and rubber cleaner is the right product to clean the engine bay. Now, when it comes to using the tools or the brushes to clean the engine bay, I like to use the wheel face brush. Now, the reason why I like to use a wheel face brush is a very soft synthetic bristle that kind of flops around and cleans the engine very, very well. So the pairing between the tire and rubber cleaner and the wheel face brush is the best kind of product and tool combination to clean the engine bay. The third thing that I highly recommend to use to clean an engine bay is a pressure washer. And there's a very specific reason for that. And that's because a pressure washer uses less water than a standard garden hose. It also obviously has more pressure, so you can kind of blast things out. It does more work with less effort using a pressure washer. But if you think about it, the pressure washer I'm using today utilizes about 1.2 gallons per minute. Versus a garden hose that's using a lot more water per minute. When it comes to engine bays, people have a lot of concerns about putting water on their engine bay, okay? More modern cars, it's fine. They have watertight electrical seals. They have wiring harness that are watertight. So getting water into a modern engine bay is very safe and you're not gonna screw up anything. Now, I will say when you get, in earlier years, like early 2000s, getting into the 90s and 80s, when computers in cars were just being introduced, that's where you need to be very careful when it comes to cleaning your engine bay, okay? You don't want to start spraying it immediately because you have exposed wires in maybe a 90s era car, and boom, your dashboard lights up like a Christmas tree. And then you need to blow all the water out of there and then you'll be fine. But when it comes to modern cars, you're totally fine. And especially when you're using a pressure washer because you use less water. So first things first, when it comes to cleaning an engine bay, we're gonna blast it down with the pressure washer. Now there's two things to consider when you're doing this. I already talked about the age of the vehicle and having exposed wiring. The second thing to think about is you don't want the engine to be super, super hot. So if you're out on a Sunday drive enjoying your Corvette, if you're driving it fast and the engine's hot, you don't want to pull it straight into the driveway and start cleaning the wheels and cleaning the engine. You want them to be cool to the touch before you start using cold water on them. So this car had been driven all morning, but we parked it right here. We opened this part to expose the engine, so we had airflow coming through here. So the engine is cool to the touch and ready to be cleaned. Now, another thing to consider is, do you have an exposed air filter? On this C8 engine bay, there is no exposed air filter. Now, if you have exposed wiring or you're nervous about it, or you have an exposed air filter and you don't want to get water into that, what you can do is you can either take a plastic bag, or you can take aluminum foil and drape it over that. So then when you do blast it with water, it doesn't go into the air filter or into the exposed wiring. So with this engine, we're good to go. So I'm going to start blasting it down. So I'll move my wheel face brush into my wheel cleaning bucket. If you do see a portion like right here where there are some wires, again, I'm extremely confident that these are all watertight, but if you see areas like that, you can just pass by them a little bit quicker. So you're not going to be dousing it with water. So take the pressure washer and we start blasting the engine off. And as you can see, I'm just moving it swiftly around the engine. And the whole point of this is to get as much of the loose dirt and grime off as possible. Once we blast it off like this, then we can take our tire and rubber cleaner and start spraying it onto the engine. Now, I don't need to like spray too much product, like flood the engine with tire and rubber cleaner. It's just a matter of getting a nice, even kind of amount of tire and rubber cleaner onto the surface. And if you have to, you can walk around to the other side of the engine to make sure you have access to everything. Once we have the tire and rubber cleaner on there, we take our wheel face brush with the super soft bristles like this, and now we can just agitate in all the areas that we need to clean. And again, this isn't as much of a, I need to push hard and scrub really hard. The product's really doing a lot of the work. And then the brush is just kind of the weight of your hand to agitate it enough so then when we take the pressure washer after and blast it, everything falls off and goes onto the ground. Got to make sure and focus on your engine cover because you get the Corvette logo right there. That's the thing that everyone's going to be looking at because it shows how special the car is. Now, I'm not going to take the wheel face brush and scrub the glass here, okay? I'm actually gonna clean that after I'm done doing all the pressure washing stuff. I'll take a specific product to wipe that down. So you don't need to take this and brush that, okay? This is more for, like, I'm focusing more on the engine bay, the plastic, this area kind of right here, these brackets here. And with the wheel face brush, you can pretty much reach about halfway into the engine bay. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to the other side. I'll finish agitating all the areas over there. Then we'll come back and we'll start blasting off with the pressure washer. So again, I'm trying to not get the water onto the car. I'm kind of angling it away, pushing it down into the engine bay and then down onto the ground. If I accidentally push it over here onto the paint, I run the risk of getting water spots. Okay, I'm done cleaning the engine bay, but we need to dress the engine bay, or might even protect it with ceramic coating, which is pretty rare. It's not something people do all the time, but I recommend at least creating a base layer of a spray ceramic coating to make cleaning it easier the next time. But I can't do that when the engine is still wet, when there's water all over the engine. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to close this portion of the car. I'm not gonna push it all the way down. I'm just gonna leave it right there. And now what I can do is, while I go and wash the car, the engine bay will start to dry. Then once I'm done washing the car and drying the car, I'll prop this back open. This will be all dry, and then we can get into dressing or protecting the engine bay. All right, so after you have fully cleaned your engine and you get it dry, whether by using a forced air unit or just letting it dry from washing it, now it's time to make it look amazing. Now it's clean, but it's not dressed. So there's a couple different ways to do this. And one way is you can make your engine look amazing, but also protect it at the same time with ceramic protection. And that's actually something I love to do to create a base layer, because it makes cleaning your engine that much easier the next time you come and do it. Because with the ceramic protection, the water beads up, it's hydrophobic, and it falls off, taking a lot of the loose dirt and grime with it. So my favorite thing to do, especially like if I've never dressed the engine or made it look better, is I love to use the Graphene Ceramic Spray Coating. And this is a way to be able to spray it onto the engine, level it off, and then eventually buff it off with the towel, and it will look almost brand new, but the hydrophobic protection is really the huge benefit to make cleaning it easier. Now, after I've done the Graphene Ceramic Spray Coating, maybe the next few times after that, maybe the next 4 or 5 times, I can use something like the all-purpose exterior dressing. This is more of your standard dressing for plastics or rubber that enriches the color, makes it look really nice and very, very presentable. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you both. So on this half of the engine, I'm gonna do the Graphene Ceramic Spray Coating, and then on that half, I'm gonna do the all-purpose exterior dressing so you can see the look that both of these provide. But my recommendation is to put a base layer of the Graphene Ceramic Spray Coating down first, and then every time after that, up until you need to reapply this, you just use the all-purpose exterior dressing. So I'm gonna set this aside, and I have a borderless gray plush towel with me right here. I also have a gray microfiber applicator. These come in a 2-pack. They go really well with the Graphene Ceramic Spray Coating. When it comes to using the spray coating, you want to shake it first, like so. And the one thing I do want to mention too is the rear glass right here. It's still a little bit dirty. I haven't wiped it down yet, and I'm waiting to do that last, because if I get any overspray from the all-purpose exterior dressing or the Graphene Ceramic Spray Coating, I can even that out with detail spray to clean the glass, but also even everything out to make it look amazing. What I don't want to do is clean it now, get overspray on there, and then it creates more work because I have to clean it again. I just want to do it one time and be done with it. So Graphene Ceramic Spray Coating. The really cool thing about this is it's a silazane based ceramic coating, but in spray form. So you get the benefit of the hydrophobic protection and the kind of standard ceramic coating, but you can spray it. So in all these nooks and crannies, like this area here, or onto the engine cover here, you can take this and spray it on there, and even onto some of these rubber hoses and protectors here, you can get a nice layer of ceramic protection on there. So I'll take this, instead of spraying it directly on these big broad surfaces of the C8 engine bay, I'll just take this and give it a little mist into the areas I can't just take it and apply on there. And then as I get over here, I'm just gonna give it a few mists like this to get it into the areas I can't reach with the applicator. And then once I have a nice layer of it, I'll spray some into the actual applicator like so. And then I'll start leveling it off on all the big broad surfaces like this. So the way that the Graphene Ceramic Spray Coating works is that it's essentially ceramic resins mixed with solvent. So when I spray this out, level it off, the solvent starts to flash off, leaving the graphene ceramic behind. And you know, we actually get a lot of questions like, why not just ceramic coating? You call it graphene ceramic coating. Well, we took a derivative of graphene called reduced graphene oxide, and we paired it with the silazane-based ceramic coating. And what the reduced graphene oxide does is it bolsters the formula. It makes a little bit stronger of a formula on your car, so the longevity tends to be a little bit longer. The hydrophobic performance is a little bit better. The nice thing about it is because the formula is bolstered with the graphene, you can put it in spray form and it will still last quite a long time, providing ceramic protection. But because you can spray it, you can get it into so many different places. You know, I was cleaning an off-road vehicle, a ZR2 Silverado, and I used this graphene ceramic spray coating, sprayed it onto the suspension parts, sprayed it onto the assist steps. I even used this to ceramic coat the sport bar that was on the back. So like this can go on a lot of different surfaces, which was what makes it so useful in such a unique product. This is actually a product that I use a ton because of how many different uses you can use it with. Whereas, you know, a traditional ceramic coating comes in a little glass bottle. You put it onto a little small suede applicator and then you meticulously apply it. This one, you kind of spray it all over, even it out. And because it's not as highly concentrated as a smaller bottle of ceramic coating, you can kind of wipe it off and work it around a little bit easier. It's a lot easier to work with. And the other thing I will say about this is if you're new to ceramic coating and you want to apply a ceramic coating, but you're kind of afraid of jumping into that 5-year, 7-year type of ceramic coating in the little glass bottle, this is a great place to start. And what you're going to learn really quick is the different places that you can utilize it, and you'll fall in love with this immediately, because once you use the graphene ceramic spray coating, it quickly becomes a fan favorite, not even a question. I'm going to set this aside, and I'm going to take my borderless gray towel. Usually let it sit for, you know, I guess my recommendation would be 30 seconds, maybe 30 seconds to a minute, but I think 30 seconds is more than enough, especially when you apply it to plastic and stuff. The thing about ceramic coatings is when you put it on glossy surfaces, you can see the solvent flashing off and the ceramic curing. It almost turns to a oil slick, like a rainbow color. And that's your indicator to know, like, once the rainbow color fades is when you then buff it off and level it off. But on plastic, you can't see that. It doesn't do the rainbow effect. So instead of trying to find that, which you're not going to, I like to wait roughly 30 seconds to a minute. Probably just say 30 seconds is good enough. And then you take the towel and just even everything off. What I don't want is just excess sitting in a bunch of different places uneven. I want to get it all nice and even. So because I talk a lot, it's probably been about 30 seconds. And so I'm going to start leveling this off on the surface. And what you're going to notice is the graphene ceramic spray coating doesn't leave the surface super shiny. It leaves the surface as it was intended to from the factory. So, you know, on this plastic here, it's not going to add a ton of crazy shine. It's going to make the plastic look like OEM new, like OEM finish. The next time I use the pressure washer on here, it's going to beat up and fall off. It's going to make cleaning it 100 times easier. And that's more of the functionality I'm using the spray coating for on this. Let's jump over to the other side. And I want you to see the look that the all-purpose exterior dressing provides. So as you can see, we got the graphene ceramic spray coating on that side of the engine bay, and it looks great. It looks like the engine's brand new. And now on this side, I'm going to show you how to dress the engine instead of protect it. So again, like I said before, the graphene ceramic spray coating is a good foundational layer of protection. So the first time you put graphene ceramic spray coating on, then the second time, all-purpose exterior dressing, third, fourth, fifth, sixth time, all-purpose exterior dressing, and then maybe on the 7th time, do the graphene ceramic spray coating again to add that hydrophobic protection again. So on this side, we're doing the all-purpose exterior dressing. Now with this, it's a spray form, so I can spray it in here. And again, I'm gonna do it just like I did with the spray coating. So what I'm trying to do is just give it a couple mists into the areas I'm not going to be able to reach with the applicator. And then once I do that, I give it just 2 sprays onto the block sponge here. And now what I'm going to do is then even it out on all of the broad surfaces like this. Also, the thing with the all-purpose exterior dressing is you don't want to get it onto the glass. So if I get it onto the glass, it just smears. You can eventually wipe it away, but if you do get some overspray on the glass, or you accidentally touch it with the applicator, after you're done evening it out on all the surfaces of the engine bay, you can set it aside and then take detail spray and give detail spray a nice mist onto the glass there, and then take a borderless gray or any plush towel, even the single soft towel, and take this and wipe it down, even it out, and it will look great. Now, the thing about the all-purpose exterior dressing is after I even it out, it's self-leveling, and so I don't need to take a plush towel and wipe it off after. This is just spray it on, even it out, and boom, you're done. Okay, so the one thing I will say about the all-purpose exterior dressing is the way it was formulated was definitely to provide a look, and so you'll get a little bit of shine, just barely a little bit of shine with the all-purpose exterior dressing, but it's also formulated with an acrylic polymer, and so it does have a little bit of protection in it, but not nearly as hydrophobic or as robust as the graphene ceramic spray coating. But it does really help provide a look to the engine bay, and mainly like the plastic, rubber, all the surfaces that are in this engine bay. Well, there you go. Perfectly cleaned, perfectly dressed, perfectly protected engine bay for the C8 Corvette. So listen, I hope this video was helpful. I know cleaning your engine might seem like, I just don't know why I should do it. Again, like we talked about it, taking pride in ownership of your vehicle, it really shows when you clean every part of your car, and if you keep this looking like this, anybody who's working on it, anybody who's looking at it, they're gonna have the same amount of respect that you put into your car. So having the right tools, having the right process really get you there. And if you're looking for anything here to get your engine bay clean, but also either protected or dressed, ChevroletAccessories.com is the place to go, or you can head to your local Chevy dealership. So thanks for watching. I hope you get your engine bay looking dialed just like this one.